Hey everybody, check it out. This is the new 2021 Gensis G80. In this video, we are going over the exterior design. We're going to look at the interior, find all the cool gadgets and gizmos, and ultimately discover, is this G80 worth $56,000? So first of all, what is a G80? Well, this car competes with vehicles like the BMW 5 Series and Mercedes E-Class. Gensis is a relatively new brand to the luxury segment, but they are the luxury division of Hyundai Kia. Now, first of all, the exterior design, I think, is pretty unique and very different. In terms of the front end, it's got this large diamond grille. This one's seen in a polished chrome finish. This middle section is for the cruise control and safety systems. And then down the sides of the front here, of course, we've got more space for cooling. The big distinction that the Gensis holds are the headlight designs. We've got these two horizontal streaks that start in the front, continue along the sides, and then ultimately finish in the rear. This is the new Gensis design language we see in the G90 and the GV80 SUV, and in fact the G80 and the GV80 SUV share the same platform, which is kind of interesting. I do like the sculpting to the hood. Down the middle we've got kind of this crease that accentuates both ends of the hood, and it looks really nice. My favorite parts of this particular car are the wheels. This honeycomb design, super distinctive. So many new luxury cars kind of get caught in the same wheel design. All the manufacturers do something similar, but this 19-inch wheel just looks fantastic. Let me know what you think of this honeycomb design. It's a little bit like the old Grand Cherokees, but that is ultimately a great thing because just love them. Now the tires are staggered. We've got a 235 in the front, a 275 in the rear. It's a very performance-oriented thing to do, but it will also increase cost when it's time to change tires. The side profile, pretty long, low and sleek. Long hood. It is a sedan, but it's kind of going for that fastback look in the rear end. And then moving our way to the back, character liner down the side, big crease, and in the rear, sculpted spoiler, just a small little spoiler in the back. Once again, dual horizontal streaks, Gensis badging down the middle, G80, and then we see this. All-wheel drive, or is that four-wheel drive? More on that in a second. Dual exhausts. Let's see if it passes the real test. They are somewhat real, so you can see the exhaust outlet is down there, but much smaller than the actual tip. And then a slight rear diffuser out back. Overall, probably the best looking car in its class. Much prefer this to the E-Class and the 5 Series design. But let's learn a little bit about what's underneath the hood. There are a couple of different engine options. This one actually has the smallest engine available. There it is, a 2.5 liter four-cylinder. Now you may notice it is located lengthwise down the middle of the vehicle. So it is not a transverse setup, it is a longitudinal setup. It's turbocharged and it makes 300 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque. There is an optional turbocharged V6. That engine makes 375 horsepower. You can really see how much room is left remaining in the engine bay because, of course, this is built to accommodate two more cylinders. We do have some strut bracing down here, airbox in the front and center, some additional strut bracing, and then a little bit of sound deadening on the bottom of the hood. And I do like the fact that it has the hood that does not require the manual prop rod. I think that is a nice feature. So here's what the key looks like as we make our way to the interior. Polished chrome on the outside and then a black exterior finishing with the Gensis logo located there. We have lock, unlock, hold for the trunk, auto start stop, and a button to turn on the headlights, which can be convenient if you're making your way home at night. That's kind of a nice little touch. All right, let's go ahead and hop on the inside. So this one is equipped with the black leather interior. That will make it a little bit challenging to see here on camera, but Gensis uses this very unique steering wheel design. 4 spokes, but you've got these holes in the middle that kind of make these little triangles. I do like the way it looks. It looks better in this car than I think like the Gensis G90, that's kind of like a pillow, or the GV80, but let me know what you think of that in the comment section below. Paddle shifters on the steering wheel, pretty thin, BMW offers some really thick steering wheels. This one is more manageable. The start button has that knurled finish surrounding it, which we see throughout the vehicle. Foot on the brake. Let's go ahead and start it up. So interesting display here. I really like what they've done with the instrument cluster overall because it's part digital, part analog. Not a big fan of the full digital systems. I like how you still have an analog speedometer, and then the tachometer is actually digital. I don't know if you can really see that, but that needle doesn't exist in a physical form. It's all just digital, because when you turn the vehicle off, you can see it disappears altogether. But overall interior design, long flowing horizontal lines. That's kind of the theme Genesis has been going for. This is the central vent system, but you can see the motive that the actual design is meant to extend across the length of the vehicle, make it feel kind of wider, a little bit lower. Stitched dashboard, which looks really nice, and then a dark brown wood finish across the top of the dash, extending down into the middle portion of the vehicle and even across the doors. Like Mercedes started a while back, Genesis has gone to some additional design on the speaker covers. Not necessarily the circle that Mercedes does, but in this case, these diagonal streaks. And I like the attention to detail in here. So it doesn't simply have Hyundai or Kia controls for the windows. Everything's got this knurled finish, which you can see up here in the mirrors, extending down onto the window controls and then onto the selector for the infotainment screen. Now, speaking of that infotainment screen, ginormous, over 14 inches, relatively narrow but long, and I've got to say it looks pretty good. It is controlled down here via this little rotary selector, but it also operates as a touchscreen, so you do have both options, although it is quite far from the driver, so I do recommend using the rotary selector. Now, this does have a glass finish on the inside, and it does work both clicking and spinning. Yep, gotcha, thank you. And then volume and tune knobs, but not in the traditional sense. They are not located up here on the dash. They're down here, these little scroll wheels, buttons for home. And then this is a drive selector. So it's a rotary drive selector. It returns to the middle after each selection, but feels super high quality. Once again, knurled with that glass finish. Overall, very satisfying to use. The return to center is a little bit annoying. I prefer it to like stay in the drive position, but that's just what Genesis has opted to do. Over here, we've got controls for the drive mode. This one has 3 different drive mode: custom, eco, and sport mode. And a custom, so you can configure it. You can see that operating down there, down the center. And then the parking camera. This one is only equipped with the backup camera. Moving down to the center of the vehicle, we come to the center console. Push a button underneath this crack and it will glide on open. It's a split center console with a removable tray. In the center console, we see a 12-volt power supply there, and then we also have USB ports located underneath the slide away tray, although I'm not seeing any USB-C, which is a little bit interesting. So just more standard USB ports. Moving over here to the passenger side, decent sized glove box. And what is the sticker on this vehicle? So $56,995, almost $57,000. You can see this is the 2.5 liter advanced package with all-wheel drive. Fuel economy 25 combined, not too bad. 22 city, 30 highway. And some of the options: the Gold Coast silver paint, that was a $500 option, and the advanced package with the 19-inch wheels, matte wood finish, 3-zone climate, the power trunk, and the panoramic sunroof. Speaking of the sunroof, let's take a quick look at that. Push a button there. Oh, whoa, just kidding. That is for the rear. Interesting. I learned something new right there. That's for the rear window. So the sunroof control is going to be that. Splits down the middle, which is a little bit unusual. So most slide all the way forward or all the way back. The Genesis actually sits down the middle. And let's see how the operation is. It goes pretty far back. Doesn't extend all the way to the rear seats though. And speaking of rear seats, let's go ahead and test them out. All right. So I am 6'1". This is my driving position. Ooh, feels pretty good. Feels very good, actually. Plenty of legroom, decent headroom. I'm not feeling tight on headroom whatsoever. We do have these speakers located on the rear windows. And then down here we see cup holders, heated seats, another button to operate the rear sun visor, small center console, and then an auto function over here for the climate control. Now let's go ahead and make our way back to the trunk, see what that operation is like. It's actually a hidden release for the trunk right down here by the camera. Push it in, it glides open. The gooseneck hinges are more or less out of the way, and the trunk space seems decent underneath the rear floor. Space saver, spare tire, do have a divider net which you can reconfigure, some additional storage along the sides. And then also look at that ski pass-through. Although I am curious, is the ski pass-through all you get? Let's find out if the seats fold down. I'm not seeing any fold for the seats, which is disappointing. There's the pass-through. All right, well, that is a little bit of a disappointment. So, initial impressions of the Genesis. This has just been my first walk around. Just got out to the car. I'm liking it. You know, I'm gonna have to get it out on the road for our full review, but I like the wheels especially, like the design, impressed with the interior quality and materials. Infotainment's very familiar, very usable. If this thing drives as good as it looks, it could be a big winner. Well, let me know what you think in the comment section below. As always, this is Tommy with the Fastlane Car. Check out TFLcar.com for the latest and greatest in new car reviews.